Hey, what's up? By looking here. So, if you guys are here, you're just wanting to learn how to play Hearthstone. I primarily play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do have a lot of people asking me like, how do I play Hearthstone? Can you help me learn, etc., etc. So I thought I'd make this video just to give a basic idea of how Hearthstone works. And if you guys want to see me cover more about Hearthstone, please let me know because I do enjoy it a lot. It's just I'm not sure if people would want to see me play it. So here I'm going to go ahead and cover the Hearthstone game mode as well as the basics of just Hearthstone and things like that. There are things like Battlegrounds, Mercenaries, and other modes in it, but I'm just going to cover the basics of how you really navigate through Hearthstone. So Hearthstone is a game where you go versus one player in most cases. In the general Hearthstone mode, it's one player. And you both start off with 30 health, and the idea is to just, with your cards, your spells, your monsters, your secrets, things like that, you get your opponent's life down to 0. Now there are factors and things like that. Maybe you'll have like armor, but that doesn't matter right now. So starting off, the way you get cards is basically you earn them, or you can buy them from packs via the shop. Like as you can see, we have a new release coming, or you can buy things like this. It does get kind of expensive. The good thing is they make it really easy to be able to buy packs via quests. Now these are your quests. So you have daily quests and you have weekly quests. Your weekly quests are obviously worth more, and they're a little harder to achieve. Like spend 500 mana. It seems like it's difficult, but when you play the game a lot, it's not really difficult at all. But then you have easy stuff like play 3 to 2 games as these certain classes, or I can even sometimes just get a pack just for playing 3 games of that. So using your experience, you level up, and as you see, I'm level 102. But you level up, and these you just get a bunch of gold. You get 100 gold. You get 150, 200. You get hero portraits. It's really cool, and you also have achievements you're able to use that actually let you get the gold as well. You know, via the experience that you'll earn, which is really cool too. Now, another place you're going to be visiting often, especially when you're building your decks, is the collection. Sorry, the collection. Now you have a plethora of different heroes to choose from, and you have a bunch of different portraits you can choose from to make them look cool, however you want. I'm going to run through them quickly. I'm not going to get too into the different classes just because for the purposes of time, I don't want you to get bored. So the first thing is Demon Hunter. It's a pretty aggressive deck. It's a pretty cool deck also. And it's hero power. So hero power is just something that every single hero will have, regardless of its class. It doesn't matter, and they all do certain things. So for 1 mana, you get 1 attack this turn. And but as you see, you know, like a lot of the Demon Hunter cards center around you attacking with your hero. Like this guy, he's really strong. And they had to nerf him. So for example, you can, if you have both of them, you have 2 mana. You can pay 1 mana to play him and 1 mana to use your hero power. Attack with him, and now he's a 2/2 instead of a 1/2. And that's every turn that you're able to use that effect. Next is Druid. There's a million different ways it feels like to play Druid, but a lot of it centers around spells and giving you know, your minions a lot of attack, getting a lot of minions out via different token cards. The next one is my personal favorite class, Hunter. This is basically a burn deck if you're familiar with that. If you're another thing is if you played Magic, you're gonna feel right at home playing this. Just different keywords. But so Hunter's basically a burn deck. Its hero power says pay 2 mana to deal 2 damage. Also, the Druid hero power I did forget is pay 2 mana, gain +1 attack and +1 armor. Armor is something that you can stack on top of your health that will protect you from damage, but it doesn't count as health, which is kind of cool. The next class is Mage. It's all spells. Not all spells, but yet you do have some minions, not too many. And the minions do supplement your spells, but for the most part, you're going to be killing them with spells similar to the Hunter. But Hunter also plays with beasts, so sometimes you get really big beasts, things like that, or sometimes you'll flood the board. There's a lot of ways. Paladin's really a mid-range kind of class, so if you like mid-range, you'll probably feel right at home. You have everything from secrets to burn to giving your guys stats. There's a bunch of cool ways you can play Paladin, so if you like versatile things, Paladin's definitely the way to go. And his hero power is you pay 2 mana to summon a 1/1 minion. He's a Silver Hand recruit, and yeah, that's about it. You have a bunch of holy spells to protect your boys, give them attack, etc. Next is Priest. Probably the most annoying class in my opinion, and every single time I play against it, I'm like, oh, brother. But its hero power says pay 2 mana and heal something on the board for 2 health, which is pretty good. And there's a lot of different ways you can play Priest, but mostly it's going to be control. And, you know, you have cards that just get rid of your opponent's board. You can have cards that just say when it dies, kill another minion. A lot of it's just please protect me. You know, I'm not a fan of it too much, but, you know, I can see why people would like it. Next is another mid-range deck that can also be super aggressive, which is Rogue. They play like a million cards every turn, which is one reason why I do like the deck. But you have utility across a lot of ways. Like, for example, you can return a card to your opponent's hand. You have different weapons you can utilize, and the deck really does utilize that by playing a lot of cards in a turn and is able to, really push out a lot of damage that way. Next is Shaman. Shaman is another mid-range deck. It can be hyper-aggressive as well, but for the most part, it's a pretty, you want to pace the game. You're not really looking to end it immediately. And that's why it's probably one of my favorite classes. Plus, you have elementals, and I always thought elementals are cool, so if you think they're cool too, we're brothers. Also, you're able to have all of these different things going on. And with their hero power, what it does is you pay 2 mana and summon a basic totem, and they do a variety of things. And the rogue hero power, like I forgot, sorry. The rogue hero power says you pay 2 mana, equip a 2/2 weapon, or a 1/2 weapon, which is definitely not bad at all. And then the warlock is a very aggressive class. What it does for you is you actually pay 2 mana with your hero power to draw a card. So it lets you go through your deck pretty quickly, but you got to be careful when you're playing this kind of deck, because a lot of the cards you're going to be playing, like Flame Imp is a good example, you will be damaging your own hero, so you'll be low pretty quickly, but usually it supplements it by you getting a lot of damage on board. This is a very aggro deck. You try to just get the boys out to kill your opponent really quickly. That's about it. And then you have Warrior, one of my other favorite classes. It's a very control-based deck for the most part. They do have aggro variants, but for the most part, you're going to see it being a lot of control. And basically, you use spells and bigger minions to stop your opponent from playing. The current version of Warrior basically says, you're going to be pretty aggressive with pirates, and if you like pirates, then you might like this a lot. But his hero power says you pay 2 mana and gain 2 armor, and that's what Warrior is all about, is armor. Next is the neutral cards. Neutral cards can be played in any deck. Doesn't matter what the class is, you can do whatever. If you want to play it in a shaman deck, you can also play it in a priest deck. So, it's good to have a good collection of neutral cards, and they're going to be the ones you have the most of. You're going to have a lot of them. And yeah, there's also several different kind of cards. So you have common, which are these, which is going to be signified by the little clear gem. You're going to have rare, which is going to be signified by the blue gem. You're going to have an epic, which is signified by the purple, and legendary, which is signified by the yellow. So obviously they get better as you go up. They also cost more to make. You also get more dust if you do get rid of them. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. All of them also have different variations of themselves in the form of golden. So if you want to be a rich boy, you can pay to be cool and get these. They move, and sometimes they're really worth it. So, yeah. Moving on. So you have the regular Hearthstone game mode, which is where you battle. And this is... so you have 4 different kinds of game modes you can do, starting with Classic. Classic is this... So how Hearthstone works is you have several different packs, several being a lot actually, but they rotate out, which is what Standard is for. But there's always going to be these specific cards that can always be played in Standard, Classic, and Casual, which is going to be Classic cards, and they can be moved around. Sometimes maybe they'll put it in Wild, it just depends. But for the most part, you're going to always be able to play these. A lot of people do like Classic because it's very basic, and this is where I do recommend going. If you haven't gotten a lot of cards yet and you want to complete your quest, it makes it a lot easier. Next is Standard. Standard is the most popular one as of right now. Everyone plays it for the most part. Some people only play WoW, but I like Standard. So Standard, at the end of the month, and this is for all, resets your rank. So in WoW it does it as well. But Standard is only the core set, and the last 2 years of cards can be used. After the 2 years, they get pushed to Wild, and you can choose to dust them, and you get your full value, which is pretty cool. Next is Wild. Wild is pretty much where the fun's at. I'm not saying Standard isn't fun, but you got a bunch of crazy stuff going on in Wild. There is a lot of cards that you have to get, but after a while, you will be able to amass a collection, and you'll be able to get some dust under your belt, so you can basically craft whatever your deck you want, which is really good. That's the best part about this game, is you really don't have to pay money if you don't want to. Because of how their new system works, you're able to get money really quickly, which is really nice, so thank you Blizzard for that. And lastly, we have Casual. Casual is if you want to go just test something, you want to complete a quick quest. No one's really trying hard here. Yeah, that's about it. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the interface real quick so you guys get a good idea, and after that I'll go ahead and get rid of you. So when you enter a game, you're always going to have this. It's going to show your portrait, their portrait, and then you're going to draw your hand. Then from there you can choose to mulligan cards away or keep what you have. If you go first, you only start with 3, and you end up having more mana in the long run. But if you go second, you get 4 cards to choose from, so you can choose 4, and I can put all 4 back. And then you also get a coin to start off. So during one turn you're able to use it whenever you want. Usually it's still better to go first. I like going second because you get more cards, obviously, but going first puts you ahead in the overall game. So as you can see, he paid 1 mana, which is represented over here, to summon his 2/2 creature. So you can pay every turn up until you hit 10, your mana is going to increase, and at the end, and when you start a new turn, you get everything back. So for example, I can go ahead and use this. It allows me to get a creature. I can end my turn. So next turn, I have 2 cards that cost 2, so I can either use my hero power, or I can use the parade leader. The parade leader, as you can see, he does something with the rush, and I'm going to have a separate video on keywords if you guys want to check that out. But I also have the coin, so if I really wanted to, I could also summon this 3-drop. That's another big thing. But that's really about it. So the entire goal really for here is to just get my opponent down to 0. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and let me know. I try to do more informational stuff because I wish this is the kind of stuff people showed me when I was younger. And yeah, if you guys want more, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. See ya.